in the heart of the Great War, amidst the mud-soaked trenches and the thunderous echoes of artillery, a story of camaraderie, courage, and sacrifice unfolded. Lieutenant James MacAllister, a young and idealistic officer, found himself thrust into the harrowing reality of World War I. As the sun set behind the smoky horizon, casting an eerie glow over the battlefield, James huddled with his fellow soldiers in a makeshift trench. The air was heavy with tension and the acrid scent of gunpowder. Tales of heroism and camaraderie had kept their spirits alive, but the brutal reality of war had a way of overshadowing even the brightest stories. James's company had been ordered to hold the line against a relentless enemy advance. A relentless rain had turned the terrain into a quagmire of mud and despair. With every passing hour, the pressure mounted and fear tightened its grip on their hearts. Amid the hardships, one man emerged as a pillar of strength, Sergeant William "Will" Turner. With a weathered face and a quiet resolve, Will had a way of instilling hope in even the darkest moments. His stories of home, of loved ones waiting for their return, served as a lifeline for the weary soldiers. One chilly morning, as the mist clung to the ground like a shroud, an enemy bombardment rattled the ground. The trenches trembled, and panic rippled through the ranks. Amid the chaos, a shell exploded near James, leaving him disoriented and wounded. Through the haze, he heard Will's voice, calm and unwavering, guiding him to safety. Days turned into weeks, and the front line remained a constant battleground. James and Will formed an unbreakable bond, their friendship forged in the crucible of war. Will's tales of bravery from past battles inspired James to lead with courage, while James's optimism and determination reminded Will of the values they were fighting for. One fateful day, an enemy offensive caught them off guard. The trench was overrun, and chaos reigned. In the midst of the turmoil, Will rallied the scattered soldiers, his voice cutting through the cacophony like a beacon. James fought valiantly by his side, determined to honor the sacrifices of those who had come before them. As the enemy onslaught intensified, a barrage of machine gun fire pinned them down. The situation seemed dire, but Will's eyes gleamed with an unyielding resolve. With a rallying cry, he charged forward, leading the charge against the enemy emplacement. Bullets whizzed past him, and the world seemed to slow as James followed his friend into the maelstrom. Their bravery inspired the soldiers around them. Men who had been pushed to the brink found strength in their example. The battle raged on, and in the end, victory was achieved at a high cost. As the dust settled, James and Will stood side by side, their faces smeared with dirt and sweat, their chests heaving from the exertion. But victory came at a heavy price. Will had been mortally wounded in the final charge. As he lay in James's arms, his breaths growing shallow, he whispered words of gratitude and hope. He spoke of a future where the world would remember the sacrifices made during this war, and how their actions would pave the way for a more peaceful world. With tears in his eyes, James watched as his friend's life faded away. Will's legacy lived on in the hearts of those he had inspired, the soldiers who had seen his bravery firsthand. The war eventually ended, and the world moved forward, forever changed by the horrors of conflict. And so the story of Lieutenant James MacAllister and Sergeant Will Turner became one of the countless stories that echoed through history, a testament to the valor, friendship, and sacrifice that defined a generation caught in the crucible of World War I.